Look at the Dasani sparkling water to see if there's anything in here that's questionable. And what I always look at is the ingredient label. A lot of times the front, not necessarily any information that is real. It's marketing. So they're trying to grab your attention with the front. With anything, regardless of how good it looks on the front, you gotta look at the back. And so, and not even so much the nutrition label, but the ingredient label I go for first. Now, where is the ingredients here? It says 0% juice, carbonated, okay, here we go. Carbonated water, natural flavor, unsweetened. Well, carbonated water is fine. Unsweetened is fine. The only problem with natural flavor is that it's not an ingredient. What I always go back to and ask the question is, would you find it on the farm? Now, last I looked, there was no natural flavor bushes. Just saying. The other thing is this word natural has become very popular as people have gotten more aware of what's in their food. And there's no legal definition for the word natural, and it can mean anything.
What does it mean?
That's a good question. So what I like to do, one simple rule of thumb when looking at an ingredient label, is to make sure there's no vague ingredients, like natural flavors, artificial flavors, spices is another popular term. What does that mean? Is it garlic? Is it salt? Is it oregano? What does that mean? Well, see, they use vague ingredients because they can, and it's a place they can hide food chemicals. And those food chemicals is what causes additional toxic load in the body, which none of us need. There's enough we got to deal with already. And it just adds to it. So if we start looking for these little things, we start removing how big of a toxic load we have going on in the body, and then the liver can start to rebuild, repair. The other thing that I always look at is, what is it in? Now, this is in an aluminum can, and too much aluminum exposure is not good for the body either. So I would say something like this, not a bad choice. Certainly better than like some of the sodas or the diet sodas or things like that, because it's more of sparkling water, which is better. Certainly an upgrade, but consuming on a regular basis from cans, I get concerned about the potential heavy metal toxic load from the aluminum. And again, we're exposed to so much. If there's little things we can just create shifts in, well then, you know, it reduces the load. It's kind of like I like to view the liver, which is a big organ, sits right on the right side. It's like the septic system of the body. It keeps things clean. And if you've ever had a house with a septic system, I think you have. Mm-hmm. I know we actually lived across the earth from each other. Did you guys ever have that thing overflow?
Yes.
It was pretty messy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And you couldn't put any more in there.
No.
No. Thank God, with a septic system, you can call the guy to
And
come
have
out
them
and clean it. Well,
Right.
see, unfortunately, with the liver, it's not that easy. So you got to think, especially the older you get, how much toxic load, just like that septic system, you had X amount of years before it filled up. So our bodies are like that. So a 20-year-old liver hopefully has more room for toxic load than a 40, 50, or 60-year-old liver. And so reducing additional toxic load, just like when you know that septic system is coming up on needing cleaned out, you tend to like somewhere else. So you don't want it to overflow. I remember something about that back then. That was years ago. It's the same thing. You got to think about your liver, and so that would be my only thing. So an alternative for sparkling water like this would be to, my favorite container to buy anything like this would be in a glass bottle. So like some of the like the Perrier or the Pellegrino and things like that. Yeah, and so, but now you gotta watch, they are also making them in plastic bottles now.
Oh yeah, this is plastic.
Yeah, so what you wanna look for is the glass bottles is ideal. Plastic, if you're using plastic, you wanna see how hard it is. Like this is a hard plastic, okay? This is better than a softer plastic. some of the water bottles are really cheapy plastic.
Mhm.
And then that's a whole other issue that we're not talking about today, but with the plastics. And so so we look at the Pellegrino bottle, we look at this, look what the ingredients say.
Where?
Right
Oh,
here.
oh. Ingredients: carbonated mineral water.
Yeah. Very different than this one.
So this is because the lemon is in it.
Well, but it doesn't say lemon in the ingredients. It says lemon on here, but they're just describing the pictures.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with what's inside. So you see what I'm saying? You
Yes.
can't trust what their branding logo looks like, because it can lead you to believe something that's not true. It's like the old adage I remember learning in high school business law class back in Garden City High School. I think I was maybe in 11th grade. I remember learning about buyer beware. It was a Latin term. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. And so I always think back at that thinking, you know what? You can't trust the brand. You got to look at the ingredient. This says lemon, but there's no lemon in here. So I tend to, across the board rule of thumb, go for just plain and add my own lemon or fruit to yogurt or things like that. And so again, it keeps the least amount of extra stuff and things we're bottling. You get it? Awesome. All right, thanks for listening.